back with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I called it last night. I was like, as soon as Melbourne reaches like 10 cases from now on until the end of time, we're going to go into a fucking lockdown. And we hit 10 cases today, and now we're in a 5-day hard lockdown. Everything is shut again, not allowed to go further than 5Ks from your house. All the bullshit is starting again. I'm fucking over it, and I'm glad I'm getting the fuck out of here now, because that is what's going to happen over winter. 100%. There will be some fucking outbreak, and they'll clamp down for most of winter, I'd say. They'll at least do a 3-monther, I reckon. But we're in fucking lockdown at 12 o'clock tonight for 5 fucking days. For 8 cases. For 8 cases or 10 cases or 12 cases. Who fucking knows? I'm getting this information secondhand anyway. Oh, fuck, I forgot. I was in a car accident yesterday. I fucking did the podcast before I was in the accident yesterday. So anyway, I'm driving over to the studio to do my other podcast, the Oppression Chamber podcast. Go check that out on Spotify. Oppression Chamber podcast. So I'm driving over there and the traffic is fucking thick. And the way I go, there's a little bit of a fucking shortcut you can take. It's an illegal shortcut, but it's a shortcut nonetheless. So I'm going down Bridge Road in Richmond. I'm just going to say the names of the roads in the suburb, all right? I'll just say it. I know the street names mean nothing to you, guy in fucking Ethiopia, all right? I understand, but I'm just going to say it anyway because it's easier to tell a fucking story like that. So anyway, I'm on Bridge Road in Richmond and the fucking traffic is banked way back. And I'm already running late, and fuck me, if I'm late for that podcast even 2 minutes, John Doyle will fucking go home. So on Bridge Road, there's a tram line running straight down the middle of the road. It's one of the busiest fucking roads in Melbourne, and there's a fucking tram line running straight down the middle of it. And most of the traffic's going straight, but there's a right-hand turn up a little bit further, and you cross into the tram line to take that right-hand turn. So what you can do, if you're running late for a podcast, is you can go into the tram lane and you can just gun it as fast as you can to get down to that right-hand turn. And about 50 meters before the right-hand turn, it actually turns into a real lane. So really, you're only breaking the law for about 300 meters before it becomes legal again. And by doing that, you're really saving about 15 fucking minutes because the traffic is fucking slow through there. And it's a one-laner as well because of the fucking tram. So I do that all the time. I do it even when there's no traffic. I just fucking gun it down there. But when there is traffic, you get some fucking stares. They're not too fucking psyched about you cutting through that far. So anyway, yesterday there was so much fucking traffic. It was backed up so far. I had to start from a little bit further back than I usually would. I was like, fuck this. I'm tramlining it now. I usually wouldn't start from that far back, but, you know, time's money, isn't it? So I'm gunning it down the tram line, and I get a couple of 100 meters down the tram line, and I have maybe another couple of 100 meters to go before it turns back into the right-hand turn. And I see this chick in a little fucking black car trying to split the traffic to go through and turn into the other lane. Like, go across the tram tracks and turn right into the other lane. Like, she was going to cut directly across me. I can't stop, and she's slowly edging out, but she's not looking my way because she's not expecting a fucking car to be coming down the tram line, I think. I think that's why. So she's looking the other direction. I can't stop. It's too fucking close. I'm like, look at me, bitch. Look at me. Look, look, look. And she keeps edging out. She keeps edging out further and further. Now she's right in front of me. So I'm like, fuck. And I swing into the other lane, into the traffic that's coming the opposite direction. Luckily, there was no one on the other side. This is to avoid T-boning her. Anyway, I'm on the other side of the road. She's still looking the other direction. She pulls out and turns directly into the back of my fucking car. The back end of my car skids out. I bring it back. I'm fucking spewing. I'm like, you dumb fuck. Why did I do that? Just before I'm going to fucking India. Now the whole fucking back end of my car is going to be fucking smashed in. Dumb fuck. Not to mention what's happened to her car. Anyway, she pulls into the side street. I do a U-turn and I pull in behind her as well. So I hop out of the car and I walk around the car to check the damage. And I look and there's no fucking damage. I'm like, oh fuck, it must be the wrong side. And I go back around and I look at the other side. I'm like, there's no fucking damage. What the fuck is going on? I'm like, was it the front of the car she hit? And I look at the front, both sides, no fucking damage. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I look at the back left wheel and her car has hit directly in the middle of my back wheel. I'm like, what the fuck? There's just a little blue mark on the back of my wheel. And then I look at her car. I'm like, oh, your car's fine too. There's a bit of a dent in the front bumper and a little bit of fucking paint from the wheel. But it's fucking fine too. No damage done to either car. But she's stressed out. She doesn't know what to do. She's like, I'm not too sure what just happened. What just happened? And I'm like, you hit the back of my car. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, oh, she thinks it's her fault. This is fucking sweet. I'm like, well, you've done no damage to my car and your car's pretty fine. Do you want to just call it a day? She's like, I'm not too sure what happened. What happened? Like, whose fault was it? Was it my fault? Was it your fault? I'm like, hey, let's not play any blame games here. Let's just be thankful we got through it together. There's no point trying to work out these little insignificancies. And I said it again. I'm like, my car's not damaged. Your car barely has a little scratch on it. Are you happy to call it a day? And she's like, yeah, I'm happy to call it a day. We exchange numbers. And she sends me a text message a little bit later saying, I just spoke to my dad. I wasn't sure what to do at the time. Can I get your address and your driver's license number? And I'm like, hey. There's no damage to my car. There's no damage to your car. Nothing needs to be exchanged. Let's just call it a day. No insurance needs to get involved. No one needs to get involved. It's fucking fine. And then I never heard back from her. So it was all sweet. So that was fucking lucky because I was driving like a fucking maniac too. I need to really rein that in. Anyway, let's move on to tonight's main meal. Fucked Up Friday. The level of Fucked Up Fridays I've been receiving lately is fucking A standard, gold standard. If you want to send in a Fucked Up Friday story, send it in to my social media. I'm Boyle Comedy on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'll eventually get around to doing them all. Even if I have to do 2 Fucked Up Fridays every Friday, I'll get them done. Okay, so this week's Fucked Up Friday story comes all the way from Charlie in the UK. I don't know if he wanted me to say his name, but I think he'll be all right with it. Okay, here we go. So a bit of background. There's a festival in England called Reading Festival. It's a 4-day-long festival where you can camp. Roughly 90,000 people attend each year. It's full of kids aged between 16 and 20, mostly just finishing their exams, all trying certain drugs for the first time. A lot of Mandy and Keck goes around the festival. It's just a weekend of kids gurning and passing out in strangers' tents, really. So Reading, 2017. There are 10 to 15 of us camping. We get there the first day, all goes well. We all get pretty fucked up the first night, making fires, getting drunk, stoned mainly. But a friend of mine who loves a party sees the first chilled night as a brilliant opportunity to go find some hard drugs. Yeah, no shit, the first night of a festival isn't meant to be a chilled night. The first night of a festival is meant to ruin the rest of the festival for you. That's how you do festivals. So he goes for a walk to find someone with drugs he can buy. Anyway, the next morning, he eventually comes back still munted, with no money left. Soon enough, he sobers up after a nap and realizes he has 3 more days of partying to go, and he has no money, no alcohol, and no drugs. So he does what any 20-year-old in the situation would do. He calls his mum and dad, who do nothing but laugh at him and tell him, you did it to yourself. You should learn to preserve your money. Fuck, they sound annoying. Learn to preserve your money. If you're gonna go hard on the coke the first night, well, you're gonna have to be content with Ket the rest of the festival. It's called being responsible with money. So they leave him penniless thinking he'll be fine because he's got a couple of sandwiches and some water. That's all he needs to survive for the next few days. Obviously, my friend wants drug money. So the boys and I decide to pull some money together for our friend, as long as he earns it. Nice. No one could think of a way for him to earn the money, and I can't remember how it came around and who brought it up, but someone said, if you can if you can get teabagged for 1 minute, you've got the cash. So I can tell you who came up with it, some half-gay cunt. At first he was just straight up like, no way, not a chance. But eventually he realized this is the only way he's going to be getting any money, so he proceeded to lay down on the muddy floor as one of our friends took one for the team and teabagged him. Is the guy who fucking teabagged him the same guy who bought it up? It sounds like this cunt just wanted his balls sucked. It was hilarious. He's the straightest guy you've ever met. I don't know about the straightest, but yeah. So he's retching and gagging the whole time. Sure enough, he earned the money, something like £67. That is not a lot of money to be sucking a guy's nuts. I know you're calling it teabagging, but let's be honest here. You were sucking on some ball bag. This is basically prostitution, and you haven't even given it any time yet. Let your mates get on the fucking pills first. Let them get those good vibes happening, and then fucking ask them. Don't ask them midday when they're sober. You'll get a fucking teabagging. So anyway, about half an hour later, he's sitting around the campfire with the rest of us, still getting the shit ripped out of him because he's sunk to the level of sucking his mate's balls for drug money. And a friend of mine says, here, I've got £30, 30 quid. If you brush your teeth with this toothbrush, he holds out a toothbrush that he then puts in his boxes, and the way his face went, I assume up his ass too. There is a lot of fucking gay connotations in this story. So pretty drunk, after trying to suppress the memory of being teabagged, my friend accepts and goes on to brush his teeth with this toothbrush that's been up our other mate's ass. Is he the same guy that did the teabagging too? Just come out and ask. Just go, how much for a fucking blowy? Next, he pulls out a $20 note and he's like, I'll give you this if you let me put my hard cock in your ass. I can't believe this guy fucking brushed his teeth though. That's fucked. Once again, this is very funny. We made this guy do some disgusting things just so he can buy some drugs. There are little nuggets of poo on the toothbrush and he's gagging so much while he's doing it. He completes the task. We all cheer. He's given the money, which he puts in his pocket, which he then discovers is £30 of the original £60 that had actually fallen out of his pocket without him noticing. That's what you get, you disgusting cunt. Needless to say, we haven't let him forget the ways in which he demeaned himself. In fact, now he has an incredible job working in the super yacht industry and he earns so much cash, which makes it even funnier that he would do such filth for money. Jesus Christ. That's a lesson to everyone out there who's about to suck dick for a couple of pills. It will haunt you for the rest of your life. This guy has never been able to live down brushing his teeth with shit toothpaste, and now it is forever immortalized on the fucking internet. Enjoy. Thanks for sending in that story. It was a fucking pisser. That's it for me tonight. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you the fucking later.